Hi guys, I'm Bill. I got something fun to try. So, I had a roast I did, and so I saved some of the drippings because I had way too much, and I was like, knew I was going to make a meatloaf, so I threw the drippings in the freezer, got them out and thawed them because I wanted to make some really good, my version of onion gravy. Really simple. I got my pan here, pretty toasty, and just a little bit of canola oil. Don't need a whole lot in this case. This is a almost stick-free pan. It used to be, but it's pretty dead. And I just figured this would be its last meal. Okay, so I got onion and garlic. I'm going to kind of flatten it out and spread it around. And ironically, this is one of the few times I really kind of need to kind of cook the daylights out of this. Because I really want it like soft and almost disappearing from the recipe, or for the recipe. So we're going to let this caramelize. These are popping up. So we talk about, cooking techniques, and actually the thing you want to remember is, what am I trying to accomplish with this? Well, if you want, texture and chunks, you make them bigger, you don't cook them as much. If you're going to stew something or cook it on the stove for hours like chili, it's going to turn into nothing anyway. So, but in this case, I just want to start kind of burning everything a little bit. Caramelizing is the term they use, but to me it's getting pretty burnt, okay? So I just got a nice thin layer. And just watching it. Actually took the spatula out of my hand so I wouldn't be tempted, because I gotta play with everything, right? So I figured I have really, I did try to cut the onion a little smaller, a little more than half a cup, and just a couple cloves of garlic. Now, yes, garlic is different when you burn it, so to speak, or caramelize it. But for this recipe, I really want that flavor. Oh yeah, it's starting to really get happy. And I think this is like a perfect, really perfect gravy for meatloaf. That's why I do it. Lots of times I'm like the ketchup guy. I gotta have it depends what I have it with. If I'm serving it with mac and cheese, I'm probably gonna have a little ketchup, because if it gets on the mac and cheese, it's certainly not gonna ruin it. So now I got all this stuff really kind of cooking. The miracle of TV is they make it look like this takes just seconds. Well, they can edit the film, okay? I usually warn you if I'm speeding something up or cutting out and coming back, because you need to understand that sometimes it does take a little bit. I got this pan pretty darn hot just on that, just for that purpose. Oh, yeah. As it starts to kind of convert, you can tell the difference in the smell. This is a pretty sweet onion, but everything is just getting really, really, really sweet. And almost got a little smokiness to it. Now that everything's turned a nice shade of brown, it's caramelized. It's caramelized good. There are a couple stragglers in here, but that's okay. So how am I going to deglaze the pan? Well, believe it or not, water is actually a good product. I don't know if you've ever seen, but that's a good way to clean a grill is water in your scraper, because the water literally creates a steam that like explodes and cleans the grates. Well, I want to do something better, so I got myself a can of Guinness here. I want to get a nice layer. I'm going to turn it down because it's going to probably, yeah, do that. So now we got some nice richness. I only put about, I don't even think a half can in here. I'm going to turn it back up because it really, I don't know if you've seen my previous video where I opened up a warm can of that and it went everywhere because room temperature, yeah. So I had to put it in the fridge this time so it didn't make a mess all over me. The first thing that's going to happen is the alcohol is going to cook out, right? That's pretty instantaneous. Next thing we want to do is we just want to let this bubble. We're going to cook it down, right? Well, I need to add a little more flavor. So what I usually do is I don't need a whole lot, but I want a little bit of thyme. And believe it or not, for this I felt like I could use freeze-dried. Because I had some, about a teaspoon, maybe just a hair more. That's just going to add smell already. So what I'd like to do is I really want to cook the onion and garlic till they're like non-existent. I want to make this a little bit thicker, so you know the Guinness. So I really need to cook it down for a couple minutes. And if I'm guessing, man, let's see. So this is 14.9 ounces. Not sure why it's that, but I've got a good cup in there. So I'm gonna add. Probably not the whole thing. Yeah, so we're about here. If I were a betting man, I'd say I got about 10 ounces, maybe 11, a little less than 12. And I got a nice little kind of bubbly thing happening here. We're right on a medium heat. And the first thing that's going to happen is, like I said, we're getting that alcohol cook out, and we're just going to let this, I want that onion and garlic to really, really cook, soften up, and get all these flavors to mix. So, I'm just going to let this go for about 10 minutes. Not that I'm going to walk away from it, because Lord knows you don't want to do that. But I'm going to let this go for about 10 minutes, and I'll see you back and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, been a good solid, actually probably almost 12 minutes. I had the timer for 10, but I was slowly adding the rest of the can because I really was liking the way it was working. So I got my 14.9 ounces Guinness in here. The onion and everything is just pure, like really dark and rich from it. Alright, so now what do I gotta do? I got my burn my meat. Actually, it's 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour mixed together, real nice. I'm not gonna put the whole thing in. I probably only need about half. I'll tell you in a second. So the flour's a thickener, and obviously the butter gives it kind of a flavor consistency. That's why I like using butter over oil. I guess the old Bayou, they used to make their brews with coconut oil, and that's really good for some things. But when you're doing gravy, I really like to do the butter thing. So I got this nice, thick, really good tasting. And I got almost 2 cups of my drippings and stuff. So let's just get that in here to heat up. This is good. This is okay. It is going to be a little lumpy because I think there were little specks of like potato, carrot, and onion. You know, the onion I put in too. Not going to hurt anything. This is good old school. This isn't your turkey gravy. This is what you're going to put on your, well, I put on my meatloaf, but you can put it on just about anything. And you'll be really surprised. So that's why I try not to throw away all this stuff. You know, when you're washing dishes at night and you're finishing up dinner, I look and I say to myself, what can be used for something else? I will tell you that if you are so inclined, you can let this cool a little bit, put it in a bowl, get out your immersion blender or put it in a blender. Oh. And you can just see how this has gotten really creamy on that butter and flour. And remember, you always want to cook that flour for 2 minutes. And got it up to temperature. Don't need to turn it too high because I don't want to ruin it. Oh. Yeah, this is old school good stuff. I was telling this is like a really inexpensive thermometer. If you don't know it's hot or not, that flour melts right away, or that butter melts right away off your fork. Darn tootin', it's toasty. Oh, now we got the bubbles, so I know we're good. Okay. I'll turn it off. Get a final little test run here. And you know, when you're eating meatloaf, you got all that good stuff in there anyways. So I got a piece of meatloaf, and I will link my recipe, but I just cut the end off because I wanted to try it. I made this earlier. And my meatloaf, I'm going to tell you right now, don't overwork all the ingredients. Make sure you incorporate everything together, then kind of break up the meat, throw it in there and smush it in your hands. But don't go too crazy, you're going to ruin it. And make sure you get all the air pockets out. I like to kind of roll it in the pan and just keep pushing on it. Alright. I know I got something somewhere. I just can't find it. My junk drawer. Alright. So let's see. Oh. Wow, that's really good. I'm really impressed. I didn't expect it to be that good this time around. Let me tell you, that stout, and you can use anything. I mean, I just had Guinness lying around. It was on sale from St. Patty's Day, and I'm not even Irish, but I do like it. Any kind of stout is really going to give you that bold, almost like coffee flavor, and it's really good. Anyway, hope you enjoy it. I got more recipes. I will be back. Appreciate you guys. I had a couple comments earlier this morning, and makes me all happy and smiley. Makes me come up with more ideas. So anyway, hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later.